Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be inking a drawing of Wonder Woman, and I'm doing it in the same style that I did the octopus from the previous video. It's just a lot of cross hatching, and I'm starting with the shoulders down to the triceps, and just trying to keep the lighting consistent. And when you ink your own drawings, sometimes personally I do find a tendency that I have to sometimes drift, in the sense that I follow the lines that I lay down in pencil, but inevitably I'll keep adding lines that weren't there in the first place. It's a force of habit, and probably a bad one, but sometimes you get those happy accidents. Sometimes you make last minute judgments on tweaking the balance of the image, and if you spotted it there, I kind of stopped, or in fact started a bit too high with those bracelets, and I had to commit to it since it's being inked. And with the back, I was just trying to leave it as suggestive as possible, not too much detail. Don't commit too many lines on that. And as I'm going, I'm just trying to create some depth in the piece. So I'm trying to add shadows to the parts of the body which are further into the distance, and I'm doing it with a lot of just compact lines. So I'm not going to be using a brush or a thicker marker, so it's all going to be one standard line and just some cross hatching done on the figure as needed. And as long as we can use those lines to indicate the form or lighting or some texture, then in this case I try to use it as sparingly as possible. And also I'm trying to keep it consistent as I go through the drawing, because there are places where maybe I've not really indicated shadow areas. The face, if you're comfortable with it, it's pretty easy to do, but sometimes if you overthink it, you can screw it up, and all it takes is just like one off line to just put you off the whole face. But I try to keep it as simple as possible for a character at this size. I just did an indication of where the features are. And in this case, of course, to keep the hair consistent with the composition itself. And if you notice, that's where I'm kind of screwing it up a bit. But I think you just have to commit and go through with it. Just follow through. There'll be enough time to apply the corrections later. I mean, with whiteout, with a correction pen, with opaque white, whatever you choose, whether it's with a brush or a white pen even. But definitely follow through. And at this point, I'm noticing that there's not enough volume in the hair. It's not coming around from the other side. So as I'm finishing this part, I kind of begin to notice that. And once I'm done with this, on the other side of her face, it starts to look a bit light in terms of the volume of how much of hair she actually has blowing in the wind. And I can remember the way I started to realize to correct this mistake. It's one that sometimes happens. I have done it a few times, but thanks to my girlfriend, uh, there was a drawing that I did a couple of years back where the hair was a little thin on the head, and she pointed it out. And ever since then, I always check the hair, the volume of how much hair I actually put on these female characters, and it's turned out pretty good. Of course, when you watch your girlfriend blow drying her hair for 30 minutes, it kind of dawns on you that there are things that maybe in the course of drawing you kind of take for granted, but definitely something to learn from. And as with art, I mean, you can get lessons from everyone, like from the most seasoned veteran, your favorite artist streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, or even observing people who are drawing for the first time, or kids. I mean, there's something to learn from everyone actually, from books. So long as you have an open enough mind and not set everything in stone. Just don't commit to it being only one style that you can possibly learn from, whether it's manga, whether it's the classic American comic book style, light drawing from life, the Disney kind of look of things. It just adds so much richness to, I mean, all the different products we see out there. And here I was caught in two minds on whether to define the sole of her boots, but I decided just to go with a simple design, something that would be appropriate for the kind of time she comes from. Obviously, the character harkens back to ancient Greeks,
That's the way children's books supposed to look, and fairy tales.
things like that.
Boleh kena on.
But then again, it is a superhero, so there's some space to take some liberties. But if it was a closer shot of the boots, I'd definitely reference the form to incorporate it in. And the little outcrop of rock that she's standing on at this point, I'm just gonna go with what I feel. I'm not even trying to draw a rock at this point. It's just getting the silhouette right, or getting the silhouette to contrast the form of the character. Is to show that it's a perch, and we're gonna add in the spray from the crashing surf in the background. So we just need to define the foreground elements, and something like an outcropping can be nondescript.
Pernah bodoh. Machete.
And it's basically just a
Ada Steven
black
Seagal.
sheet to establish
Simpan handphone dalam pantat
the
kan.
figure is on a closer plane to us in the illustration. And this is the fun part actually. You can just turn your brain off and have fun. It's almost like doodling in a sense. There's a lot of freedom in doing parts like this. Okay, now, I mean, it's not the best approximation of water in terms of how the line work is done, but I hope it captures the energy of the splashing surf. And I'll have some chunks flying off to indicate a sort of foamy quality to the water. And you have this sea spray and foam and these particles being thrown up. So it breaks up the illustration a bit, gives it more energy, and I'll add a few speed lines.
Tak.
Just to add even a more, or at least the illusion of movement.
Tak suka. Yang tu gory tu malas nak tengok.
So that the lines lead the eye.
Macam gore for the sake of being gory
and
and
pattern. And it gives the composition a bit more variety in terms of
Boleh.
visual interest.
Seems the movie. Spider pig, spider pig.
When you do something like this, you actually can
Ni semua kan I beli DVD tu tengok.
choose where you draw the line.
Banyak duit beli
How much
DVD.
is enough.
Alah, beli 10 rupiah satu.
Of course, you don't want to
Beli sekali
overdo
10,
it,
gila.
and you just want to kind of use those action lines to frame
Oh, kat Geni tu.
the splash of the surf itself, but at the same time, there's a transitional area between the.
Oh, the night market yang sekarang dah tak seberapa tu.
So hopefully we've achieved that.
Sekarang ada apa asal tak ada benda kan?
Adalah memang aku tu jual imitation stuff. Son of Rainbow.
And we're almost done with this.
Tu ada Rainbow. I suka swing thought.
You just gotta be careful to line up those speed lines with the previous ones. Okay, and that's about it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up on the videos if you like them, share them, and I will have another one for you soon.
Kan kita balik kita tengok yang first. Lepas kita tengok Mamma
If you
Mia
liked
yang
it, I hope it
second tu.
was
Malam
one
tu
of
juga tengok.
the longer ones, but I hope it was enjoyable for you as well.
Nana ada tak Nana?
Alright,
Mania tak best. Pernah tengok kat train tu.
subscribe, don't forget to like, and of course share. And thank you so much for your time and for joining us for this session. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for your time.
Ambil dia sepatan ni dia tengok.
Tu bodoh lah.